Hello and happy Monday, everyone. Today is Monday, and I'm getting ready to connect our screen so that I can see all of you and your comments. I am super excited about being here with you. Happy after Thanksgiving. Hoping that you all had an amazing, amazing day. So give me 1 second while I make sure that this volume is not going to come blaring out of the screen for us. How was your Thanksgiving? What did you do? Let me know in the comments. I'm looking at you here to my left. Let me know what you did. Did you go away? Did you cook? Did you stay home? Did you eat too much? What did you do? Did you host a bunch of people? Was it a quiet day at home for you? What did you do? Happy holidays. This is my most favoritist. That's not even a word, right? I know, and I'm leading a book club, right? Y'all know that I'm just, all right? So this is my most favorite time of the year. I love the lights. I love the decorations. I don't worship a tree. So for all of the super Christians, I don't worship the tree. I just think it's beautiful. All right. I think the lights are beautiful. I think the decorations are beautiful. I love the hot pinks. I do. Right. And I love giving. So this is a time of year that we love to give. Stay tuned because I might do a giveaway tonight before book club is over. All right. So stay tuned because I just might do a giveaway. I think, we've got some amazing journals excuse me, that I might give away. So stay tuned. All right. So let me know as you're logging in. I see Susan. Let me know as you're logging in what city, what state, and or what country you might be logging in from so that I can see who's joining us this evening. Where are you logging in from? Let us know what you did for the holiday as we're getting ready to get started. So for those of you who know, book club is so important to me. And why am I so passionate about book club? I'm glad that you asked me. Well, number one, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Write that in the chat. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Let me see you put that in the chat. Number two, we are never, ever going to earn more than we learn. Never, ever going to earn more than we learn. Number three, leaders, and if you aspire to be a leader, leaders are readers. Right? We can't get past it. And then number four, if I had to add a number four, you just need to be here with me. Right? I mean, why not? Now we're reading Think and Grow Rich. And I promise you that you will, even if you've read this book before, and this is if you're wondering why this looks so different, is because this is the big print version, because who in the world can see the little print that's in the book? Like, why would they do that? Right? And so we're reading Think and Grow Rich, and this is not your average book club, right, Sandra Hayward? If your life is being impacted by this book, I need you to drop it in the chat. If you're a reoccurring book clubber with us, let us know in the chat. Why do you love book club? Why is this important to you? Let me see it in the chat. If you've read it before, it's going to be a different experience with me. I have a gift, and the gift that I have is to be able to help you to hear the book from the author's mindset. I am able to help bring the book alive for you, to you, and through these pages, it's like after you read this book, the words are going to jump out at you. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We are smack dab in. Now I'm gonna tell you something. The book is getting ready to get a little different, and we may or may not do a little bit of jumping around because of the way that the book kind of gets. And what I may do as we move forward is I may invite some of you to come into the studio with us by giving you the link so that you can actually join us here on book club. All right. The book is getting ready to get a little different. We're going to be taking inventory of ourselves, 28 questions that we should ask ourselves. Our self-analysis. Some of you did not dodge the bullet that you thought you probably was dodging. And the book is getting ready to get very, very interesting. Okay. So as we go in through chapter 7, 8, and 9, Yeah, 7 and 8, chapter 6. Like, let me show y'all something. 6 and 7, we still got this much to go through. Okay. So we're going to talk right now about the planning the sale of services. Planning the sale of services. We're reading Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So let's dive into the wonderful world of reading. And I'm going to read this for you. You don't even need the book. Grab a notebook if you can. If you're driving, please don't do it. What's up, Lynette? She said, I'm not teaching Zumba tonight, so I was able to be here. How dope is that, right? And so the remainder of this chapter has been given over to the description of ways and means of marketing personal services. All right. The remainder of this chapter has been given over to a description of ways and means of marketing personal services. So how many of you all are entrepreneurs, or you are in business, you're a business owner, or whatever the case may be? The remainder of this chapter is going to be for you. Type in the chat, this is for me. Type it in the chat, make it personal. This is for me. Now, the information here conveyed will be of practical help to any person having any form of personal services to market, but it will be of priceless benefit to those who aspire to leadership in their chosen occupations. So for all of you that are writing, this is for me. How many of you out of the people that are typing in and chiming in, this is for me, how many of you aspire to be a leader? And I'm going to tell y'all something. I am far from perfect. Let me tell you, what I have is a servant's heart. What I have is an impeccable work ethic. And what I have is discipline and consistency. But I am here to learn how to certainly be a better leader in my chosen occupation, which happens to be network marketing, content creation, online sales, e-commerce marketing. That's what I do. All right. Intelligent planning is essential for success in any undertaking designed to accumulate riches. Here will be found detailed instructions to those who must begin the accumulation of riches by selling personal services. And I'm even going to say not just selling personal services, but selling personal goods. Okay, goods and services. It should be encouraging to know that practically all the great fortunes began in the form of compensation for personal services or from the sale of ideas. Now, we talked a lot about these ideas in our last 2 weeks of reading. We think that we need a product. We think that we're looking that it's all about the money. It is really about the idea. And when we market the idea, we then in turn earn income from it. So here will be found detailed instructions to those who must begin to accumulation of riches by selling personal services. It should be encouraging to know that practically all the great fortunes began in the form of compensation for personal services or from the sale of ideas. What else except ideas and personal services would one not possessed? What would one not possessed of property have to give in return for riches? So if you don't own real estate, let me tell you what this means. Let me tell you what he's saying. If you don't own real estate and you don't own property, well, then what else would you do? That's what he's saying. Because he's saying right here that the accumulation of riches is based on selling goods, services, or an idea. I need y'all to write that in the chat. Does this make, right? My desire to serve is bigger than my wanting to lead. I got you. I got you. Well, we're going to have to talk about that because in order for you to earn greater income, you will have to move into more of a leadership capacity. All right. So you just have to be clear on what it is that you really want. So what happens is, let me help you. I'm going to pause right there since you asked that question and I see it, Susan. If you know that you truly have a bigger desire to serve, then if you're not making any money, it should never upset you. Because when you serve, and if you serve correctly, it comes from your heart. So whether or not you make any money, so you could never, ever complain about what's not being done for you. You could never, ever complain about I'm not making any money, because if you truly have a servant's heart, then you're not counting the cost ever. So you have to be very, very clear on what you want. All right. That was just for free. That one was for free. All right. So, broadly speaking, there are two types of people in the world. Let's type that in the chat. There are two types of people in the world. One type is known as leaders, and the other is followers. I'm going to say it again. There are two types of people in the world: leaders and followers. How many types of people are there in the world? Two. Decide at the outset whether you intend to become a leader in your chosen calling or remain a follower. So if you're perfectly fine, Susan, with remaining a follower, and you're okay with maybe sometimes you earn some income, maybe sometimes you don't, but you're okay with just serving and leading and serving and being on the other side of that, being the follower, then it's okay if that's what makes your heart content. All right? You can lead people to the information that they need. Okay? So decide at the outset whether you intend to become a leader in your chosen calling or remain a follower. The difference in compensation is vast. It's what the book says. The difference in compensation is vast. Let me help you understand what the author means. You can't say, I want to earn $10,000 a month, which is not the normal amount of money that the average person earns in income, and say that I don't want to be a leader. I'm good serving. Because this book tells you here, the difference in compensation is vast, because leaders earn more income than followers. The book says it. The Bible says it. I mean, it is what it is, right? The follower cannot reasonably expect the compensation to which a leader is entitled, although many followers make the mistake of expecting such pay. And that is why so many followers get frustrated, because they're not clear. They're like, I don't want to lead. I don't want that responsibility. I don't want to do X, Y, and Z. I'm okay with serving, but I want to be a millionaire so freaking bad. And then they're upset when it's not happening for them, but it is because you decided to not step up and be a leader. I'm not beating up on anybody. I'm just talking to you about what the book says. Okay? So it is no disgrace to be a follower. That's what I'm saying. If you want to serve, no problem. Just be very clear on what it is that you say that you want. Because there's a vast difference in the compensation, but there's no disgrace to be a follower. On the other hand, it is no credit to remain a follower. So we all should start off. We all have to start off following a leader. But the goal is to then become a leader, because we should never remain a follower. Most great leaders began in the capacity of followers. They became great leaders because they were intelligent followers, with few exceptions. The man who cannot follow a leader intelligently cannot become an efficient leader. So if you can't follow, then you can't lead. With few exceptions, the man who cannot follow a leader intelligently cannot become an efficient leader. The man who can follow a leader most efficiently is usually the man who develops into leadership most rapidly. An intelligent follower has many advantages, among them an opportunity to acquire knowledge from his leader. The majority attributes of leadership. The following are important factors of leadership. I want you to write these down if you can. Now listen, I'm going to use myself as an example. I am a leader, but I am working with my business partner who is a leader. I don't care that I've been a leader to a great capacity. She's been a leader to a greater capacity than me. And so because of that, I follow. And when I say to a greater capacity than me, monetarily. So we have different leadership styles. And because she has earned more income than me, I listen to what she says because she does have a keen eye of vision. Now, where I come into play, why we work so well together, and I listen to what she says. But because I am a leader, I also bring to the table discipline. I bring consistency. I bring, what is it that you said? Structure. Because I am older and I'm wiser in different areas, there is another component that I bring to the table, which is why we work well together, because I am what she isn't. And in a lot of in some areas, she is what I might not be, right? I'm not 30 something, right? And my view or vantage point of the way that I see something may not be as relevant to a younger generation that might be watching me through social media, right? So I listen no matter how old I am, no matter what kind of success I've had. I listen because she's earned more income than me. I'm certain that, see, here's what you got to understand. In order for a person to earn more income than you, they have more wisdom in certain areas than you. That's all that means. It's skill set. And when you desire to earn more income, you increase in skills. That is the only thing. Let me tell you something. I work hard. I can't work any harder than I'm already working. What has to happen is I have to acquire new skill sets, and then I have to teach skill sets to other people who appear as leaders. You know what I'm looking for in leaders? I'm still looking for people that don't have to be told what to do. Leaders lead, and that is all. My business partner never has to wait for me to host a training or to tell my team what to do, because I know what to do. She doesn't have to say, so are you going to train your team? And I know a lot of other people who are working with people and they never had a training. And I'm here to tell you, leaders lead. When leaders see, if I walked into a room as a leader and I know that we had a meeting at 7:00 and it's 5:30 or 5:45 and there are no chairs set up, I'm going to set the chairs up. Whether it's right or wrong, I'm going to do it. If it needs to be changed, we'll make the adjustments. But I'm not going to sit there knowing that there's a need and not meet the need, because leaders lead. Type that in the chat. Leaders lead. And so when you want to earn more income and you're telling me that you're okay with missing trainings, you're telling me that you're okay with missing book club, and you're telling me, oh, what you're telling me is that you don't have the capacity to lead so that you can earn more income. Well, that's not what you're telling me. It's what you're telling yourself. Let me take that back. You're not telling me anything. You're telling yourself that you really don't want to earn any more income, that you're capped. And most people don't earn more income because they're capped mentally. There's no growth. Look in the mirror. There is no growth. In order for you to earn more income in anything that you do, you have to grow in skill set. Period. It's not what I'm telling you. It is what the book is saying and every other book on leadership. If you want to increase your check, you, the individual, Jethaniel, it's so good to see you here. You have to grow. You have to learn new skill sets. You have to read more books. You have to now, let me tell you why leadership is so lonely. And then I promise, you know what? The Holy Spirit has me here and I'm not even going to apologize. I'm not sorry. Leadership is lonely. And so if you think that this leadership thing is going to be a party and you believe it's going to be a kiki kaka barbecue every weekend, and no. Let me tell you why it's lonely. It's lonely because God has to set you apart so that you go in front of your team or in front of your business or in front. It is not a party. The stairway is broad, but the ladder is narrow, only wide enough for one person to go up at a time. Here's your problem and why you've yet to advance, because you, my dears, are waiting for everyone else around you to be ready to go. And the ladder is narrow, only wide enough for one person to go at a time. So while you are holding yourself back from growing and you're sitting there waiting for everyone else to be ready, the seasons are slowly passing you by. And the window of opportunity is closing because you are stuck waiting for other people that can't go up the ladder yet. You have to go up the ladder, get up to that other realm or level, understand some new skill sets. Then you turn around and you go and you reach your hand down the ladder and you. It is not until then that you are able to help other people come up until you go up. I'm not stuck and I'm not apologizing because only the Holy Spirit gave me that. Type in the chat, go up. And those that show up, they go up. So the major attributes of leadership. The following are important factors of leadership. And I just can't let it go. So, because you're so concerned about helping everybody, and you just want to serve and help everybody. When your leaders are saying, you're a leader, let's go. Get ready to have to leave you behind because you won't move. And it's kind of like Jethaniel. Jethaniel will understand this because he's a musician. You know how we used to have certain concerts and things like that, and you get VIP access because of who you are and you're on the list. And then because you get VIP access and you're on the list, you think it's okay to bring Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike. But Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike, they not on the list. Only you have access. And because you don't want to leave Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike, you choose to stay behind instead of going with the VIP access, because not everyone was granted access to that level because they weren't the ones with the VIP relationship. So now the leader is saying to you, I see this leadership capability in you. You are a leader. But you keep saying, but, and there's a good book that we read, Paul, when the woman looked back, when Lot's wife looked back, she looked back, and she looked back, and when she looked back, what happened, y'all? What happened when she looked back? She turned into a what? She died. Because what you're looking for is not behind you. That's why the rear view mirror is this big, but the windshield is this big. Leaders, I don't know who this is for today, but God is calling you to leadership. And because you want to keep holding on to the people that you just, but I just got to bring Bobby Sue with me. And I just got to bring Ricky Ann with me. And I just got to bring Betty Lulu. And I just got to bring Pookie Bear and them. Because I can't leave Pookie Bear and them. I got to get Pookie Bear and them. And when Jesus, as Paul just said, even when Jesus needed his time to hear from the Father, he separated himself. Now, some of you have been granted access and you blew it. You blew it. And you know what's so crazy about the fact that you blew it? Because you took it for granted and you don't even know if or when that window will open again. So the following are important factors of leadership. Number 1, unwavering courage based upon the knowledge of self and of one's occupation. No follower wishes to be dominated by a leader who lacks self-confidence and courage. No intelligent follower will be dominated by such a leader very long. Meaning, you want somebody to work with you, but you lack self-confidence. You want somebody to work with you, but they looking at you like, but you're not even sure of yourself, boo. No one's following you. Number 2, attribute of a leader. So write it in the chat. The first one was unwavering courage based upon knowledge of self and of one's occupation. Nobody said that if you're in a product-based company or anything like that, you got to know all the ingredients and all that. That's not what that means. What that means, Keisha, is having self-assuredness. Like, are you confident? Are you poised? Let me tell y'all something. I've done lives or I've done presentations with information that I had never seen before. You can ask Paul, but I will deliver that presentation as if I knew it. Like, you will never know that I didn't know the presentation. So why do people follow me or partner with me? Because I have unwavering courage and self-assuredness. 2, self-control. The man who cannot control himself can never control others. And this doesn't mean control them like, sit down, come over here, come over there, come over there. That's not what that means. That's not what that means. The man who cannot control himself can never control others. Self-control sets a mighty example for one's followers, which the more intelligent will emulate. So you have no self-control. You show up when you feel like it, disappear when you feel like it, not consistent, not disciplined, blah, blah, blah. And then you expect for someone to follow you. And what's going to happen, sadly, especially in the profession that I'm in a profession called network marketing, is some of you are going to look up and all of your friends and family are going to be in business with other people because those other people have self-control and self-assuredness. Number 3, leaders must have a keen sense of justice. Without a sense of fairness and justice, no leader can command and retain the respect of his followers. So what that means is you're really good friends with somebody, right? And let's just say that you've got a team and you're really good friends with someone, but they don't perform well. You cannot promote that person or give that person favor and they're not performing. I don't care if they got a title. If they're not performing to their title, go sit down. Number 4, definiteness of decision. Leaders, this is all about you. Leaders, the man who wavers in his decision shows that he is not sure of himself. He cannot lead others successfully. when you can't make a decision. I'm telling you what the book says. If you keep showing that the Bible says, it's a good book that says a double-minded man or woman, right, is unstable in all of your ways. So I know some of y'all wishing y'all had not gotten on here tonight, but this says definiteness of decision. The man who wavers in his decision shows that he is not sure of himself. If you cannot make a decision, why should anyone follow you? If you cannot stick to a course of action for 90 days, why should anyone follow you? Because what you're saying to other people is, I'm not sure of myself. I have no discipline. I have no self-control. I have no self-assuredness. Don't follow me. Nobody has to talk about you. You're telling the world who you are. Definiteness of plans. The successful leader must plan his work and work his plan. I need y'all to write that in the chat. The successful leader must plan his work and work his plan. I know. Everybody just look straight ahead, just say, ouch, hallelujah. Ouch, hallelujah. Let me know if anybody wants to come into the studio at the end. I would love to bring a few of you up on the screen with me so that we can have a conversation. Paul will make sure that you get the link. A successful leader must plan his work and work his plan. A leader who moves by guesswork without practical, definite plans is comparable to a ship without a rudder. Sooner or later, he will land on the rocks. Number 6, the habit of doing more than you get paid for. Uh-oh. One of the penalties of leadership is the necessity of willingness upon the part of the leader to do more than he requires of his followers. You know what's so crazy? Is that I find that there are so many people who expect more out of other people than they expect out of themselves. And got a nerve to judge or talk about what other people are not doing as if they are not looking in the mirror at themselves. You must be willing to do more than what you get paid for. Because what's going to happen is if you do that, you will then at some point get paid for more than what you do. Number 7, you must have a pleasing personality. No slovenly, careless person can become a successful leader. Leadership calls for respect. Followers will not respect a leader who does not grade high on all of the factors of a pleasing personality. Now, here's where that draws the line, because there are some people who want to only have a pleasing personality and you want people to like you. Let me explain something to you. I'm going to say this and I'm going to say it. If everybody likes you and they're never angry with you, you are not a leader. Hold on, I got to clap for myself. I got to pat myself on the back for that. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't some people, including myself at times, who have to learn how to convey things a little bit better, right? And thankfully, I'm certainly not who I used to be, but I am in progress because I am very straight, no chaser most times, right? I'm learning. I'm most times I'm straight, no chaser, but I'm finding that I take a moment to process first before I say things. If I need to say it and scream, I say it to Paul. I tell him what I want to say before I actually have the conversation. But if you're a leader and everybody likes you, I hate to burst your bubble. You're not a leader because leaders are not always liked. Leaders are talked about. Everything rises and falls on the leader. So whether we're having success and whether we're not, it all falls on the leader. You are the hero when everybody's having fun and making money, and you are the demon. You're the demon seed when everybody, even though it may not be your fault. Number 8. A leader must have sympathy and understanding. The successful leader must be in sympathy with his followers. Moreover, he must understand them and their problems. Number 9, he must have mastery of detail. Successful leadership calls for mastery of details of the leader's position. Number 10, a leader must have willingness to assume full responsibility. Leaders must have the willingness to assume full responsibility. Oh, I'm gonna say it one more time. Not like, oh, you know what? I gave an assignment last night. We were on a training, and I gave an assignment. And I was actually, I started scrolling through social media to see who had actually done the assignment. And I was baffled. I want to almost say, I expected it, right? But I was baffled. And the reason why I was baffled is because I hear what people tell me and then I see what they do. And I was baffled because I gave very explicit, detailed instructions on what needed to be done. But what I really was looking for last night was who was really coachable. And I decided last night when I gave the assignment that anyone who didn't do it was clearly showing me that they were not coachable. So they don't require my coaching. Because it was very direct. Like, this is what you do. We need to get off of here and do this. Do it right now. And then it didn't happen. And I was actually a little disheartened that so many people that I thought who say they want it and I want X, Y, and Z to happen and I want to earn X, Y, and Z amount of money. And I was disheartened at how many people didn't do the assignment. Because then what'll happen is those same people will then think that I'm going to sit on the phone with them or whatever for hours upon hours and hours to give them the play, to tell them what to do when I told them what to do. And a leader has the willingness to assume full responsibility. Because the successful leader must be willing to assume responsibility for the mistakes and the shortcomings of his followers. So not only yours, but your team's. If he tries to shift this responsibility, he will not remain the leader. If one of his followers makes a mistake and shows himself incompetent, the leader must consider that it is he who failed. And I was saying to myself, saying, Now I know that I gave very explicit instructions, but here's what I'm about to help you, leaders. Leadership, I don't even use that word no more, for real. What I learned in leadership is that so many times we want to call people leaders. We want to believe based on what they might have done in another time of their life or in another business or in another company, or even right now, they might be in ministry, they might be blah, blah, blah. And we're thinking like, but I don't understand. Leader, we use that word. That's like calling everybody your friend. Everybody is not a leader. And although everybody wants to be, because let's go back to what the book says. The book says there's a The difference in compensation between a leader and a follower is vast. That's what the book says. So, leaders, I'm going to free you up. Until a person shows that they're a leader, until a person can show you that they can do things without having to be told to do them, and they can lead, stop calling people leaders. And what I realize is then I won't be disappointed because I won't give somebody more accolades or more responsibility than they truly deserve.
A coach calls the play. The quarterback follows the play that's called.
So the coach who's over the entire team calls the play. Who was it? Okay, and at the end, calls the play. He calls the play, and then he gives the play to his quarterback. Because the quarterback then has to do what? Execute the play.
So the coach is the leader at that moment, but then the quarterback is the follower.
Right. But then the quarterback, so the coach is the leader. First of all, the owner of the team is the leader to the coach. Okay? So the owner of the team is the leader. The coach is the follower. But then the coach becomes the leader, and then the quarterback becomes the follower. But then after the coach calls the play and gives the play to the quarterback becomes the leader, and the team becomes the follower. Now, when the quarterback wants to go and then throw that ball to the wide receiver, to the receivers, so that they can catch the ball and execute the play, if the wide receivers are not there, the receivers are not there to catch the ball, the play fails. Because everybody got to play their part. But what happens is there are times that you will be the leader, and there are times that you will be the follower. Even though you're in the leadership capacity, there are times that I lead and there are times that I follow. I hope that helps. Number 11, leaders must have cooperation. The successful leader must understand and apply the principle of cooperative effort. The successful leader must understand and apply. Everybody type in the chat the word apply. Let's look up the definition of the word apply. All right, let's look at it. Let's look at the definition of the word. Please, y'all stop sending me messages while I'm on book club because it distracts me, okay? I don't know why anybody would send me a message knowing I'm on book club and it distracts me. My phone is sitting here, okay? Apply. The word apply by definition means to make a formal application or request. It means to be applicable or relevant. It means to administer. Oh, here's the one that I love. My favorite definition of the word apply is to give one's full attention to a task, to work hard. So this says, cooperate. The successful leader must understand and apply the principle of cooperative effort. The successful leader must understand and give one's full attention to the task and work hard. That's what you understand, how one word and really understanding, because apply, we never thought apply meant to give one's full attention to a task and work hard. Apply. All right? Effort and able to induce his followers. Listen, but then you have to be able to induce your followers to do the same. Leadership calls for power, and power calls for cooperation. Let me tell you how you become an effective leader. Would y'all like to know? Let me know in the chat if you would like to know how to become a most effective leader. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat, because I won't tell you unless you really want to know. If you want to know how to become an effective leader, let me know in the chat. And I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give it. Shammy Sham says yes. Tedra says yes. Jack says me. Let me know. I need 5 more people to say yes. 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 Come on. Give me 2. Give me. All right. Y'all ready for this? Leaders who lead by example will induce others to do the same. You cannot, will not, and will never, ever get other people to follow you and do the same as you do if you ain't around to do. The body follows the head. So if you're in, if you're in business, even Jesus followed. Leadership calls for power and power calls for cooperation. There are 2 forms of leadership. The first and by far the most effective is leadership of consent of, and with the sympathy of the followers. The second is leadership by force without the consent and sympathy of the followers. History is filled with the evidences that leadership by force cannot endure. So if you got to force somebody to do something, they ain't lasting. So I got to force you to get on a training. I got to force you to run your order. I got to force you to do da, 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 da. I got to force you to do it. It ain't lasting. Nope. Because leadership is a skill set, but leadership is a mentality. Leaders simply show up. They show up before everyone else shows up. They stay longer than everybody else shows up. You might find a leader in the bathroom cleaning the toilets, and you might find a leader in front of the room delivering the speech. That same leader. I've shown up with a baby on my hip, setting up rooms with people who did not have infant kids. I showed up before everyone else, and I stayed longer than everyone else. With a baby on my hip, with a husband who worked at night, with a baby who cried Paige when she got into a car seat because she didn't like facing backwards. It would scream and scream and scream and scream all the way to City Line Avenue and all the way back home. And I'm blasting Elmo, trying to keep my brain right as I'm going to help people change their lives. I didn't say, well, I can't be there because I got a baby. No, I had to be there because I had a baby. I had to be there because I needed to change my life. I had to be because I needed to change my finances. What are you talking about, making these excuses as to why you can't be there? I wasn't feeling good. That's why you need to be there. Leaders, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. History is filled with the evidences, right? It doesn't endure. The downfall and disappearance of dictators and kings is significant. It means that people will not follow forced leadership indefinitely. They'll follow for a little bit, but after a while, you're not following a tyrant. And I've worked with some tyrants, and it just doesn't last. It don't work because most tyrants don't even lead by example. Most tyrants just want to tell you what to do when they're not doing the work themselves. The world has just entered a new era of relationship between leaders and followers, which very clearly calls for new leaders and a brand new brand of leadership in business and industry. Those who belong to the old school of leadership by force must acquire an understanding of the new brand of leadership cooperation or be relegated to the rank and the file of the followers. There's no other way out for them. The relationship of the employer and the employee or of a leader and follower in the future will be one of the mutual cooperation based upon an equitable division of the profits of business. In the future, the relationship of employer and employee will be more like a partnership than it has been in the past. Napoleon, Kaiser Wilhelm of Germany, the Tsar of Russia, and the King of Spain were examples of leadership by force. Hitler is an example of leadership by force, right? That's not in the book. I'm telling you. Their leadership passed without much difficulty. One might point to the prototypes of these ex-leaders among the business, financial, and labor leaders of America who have been dethroned or slated to go. Leadership by consent of the followers is the only brand which can endure. Men may follow the forced leadership temporarily, but they will not do so willingly. The new brand of leadership will embrace the 11 factors of leadership described in this chapter, as well as some other factors. The man who makes these the basis of their leadership will find abundant opportunity to lead in any walk of life. The Depression was prolonged largely because the world lacked leadership of the new brand. At the end of the Depression, the demand for leaders who are competent to apply the new methods of leadership has greatly exceeded the supply. Some of the old type of leaders will reform and adapt themselves to the new brand of leadership, but generally speaking, the world will have to look for a new timber for its leadership. The necessity may be your opportunity. So next week, we're going to start at the major causes of failure in leadership. And I know, excuse me, I thought I had to sneeze. I know that we have someone that's waiting in the studio to come on to the screen. What's up, Miss Goodness? And so we're excited. We're going to bring Jason Jones is in our studio. I don't know if anyone else is in the studio or getting in the studio, but what's up, Jason Jones?
Hey, Nina.
I don't see him. Screen. All right.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. Hey, first of all, I want to say I so appreciate you on a whole nother level, because like people can say, "Oh, she's a good leader," just like you were saying. Like you said, man, you always dropping bombs, but after a while, saying this person is a leader and that person is a leader does become like, it's your friends. And I know difference between real friends and true friends. I've had experience with that. I'm pretty sure we all had some type of experience on some level. But this point in my life, man, I fully understand that the future person that's in my definite chief aim, I have an appointment with, really hinges on me becoming a leader. And it's not easy. It's not an easy shift, because I have not been on that road for a long time. I have talents, I have gifts, but I was using them because I knew I could do these things and do it with ease. But I just did it as it's just something that I can do, something that God blessed me with. But it's a waste to just be like, oh, it's just something I could do, when God has a bigger plan, and it's not just about you. That's a beautiful thing about, to becoming a leader, and you shared it too. Like, when you become, it impacts people. Depending on the mindset, depending on, the type of energy they want to continue to travel in, it depends on how it's going to impact them. If they want to make the transformation and make the shift, because it has been mind blowing in a transformative way. Because I know about accountability, but when you go on the road of leadership, accountability takes on a whole nother monster. It's not just enough to say, "Oh, my fault, my bad, that was me." Now, what's the solutions that you're going to come up with to help? Especially if you're part of a team, what's the solution you're going to come up with to help push the team forward? And you are actively going to take part in yourself first. Because I've been there where I say, you know what? Oh, I messed up. And then I stay there. Because my mentality is like, oh, I done messed up. Get into this self-pity thing. You start beating yourself up. But no, it's only a brief moment, a brief break that you stay there. because it's not just about you. None of us are an island.
That's
We're
good.
not made that way.
That's good.
That's good.
Let me share this
Share
with
this
you.
with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
give
give
you
you
one
one
tip.
tip.
If
If
you
you
want to
want to
become
become
an
an
effective
effective
leader,
leader,
if you
if
do
you do
this
this
one
one
thing,
thing,
Yep.
this is
this
gonna
is gonna
change your
change your
life.
life.
Are you
Are
ready?
you ready?
I'm ready, and I'm ready.
So,
So,
in
in
order
order
to
to
become
become
a
a
leader
leader
of
of
others,
others,
you
you
must
must
first
first
become a
become a
leader
leader
of
of
yourself.
yourself.
Mm.
And
And
when
when
you
you
can
can
master
master
leading
leading
yourself,
yourself,
then
then
and
and
only
only
then
then
can you
can you
effectively
effectively
lead
lead
others.
others.
So it's
So it's
muffled. They're
muffled.
saying
They're
it's
saying it's
muffled.
muffled.
It's
It's
muffled.
muffled.
Did something
Did
shift
something
in the
shift in the
sound?
sound?
Is it
Is
muffled
it muffled
to you,
to you,
Jason?
Jason?
No, you sound
Oh,
fine.
okay.
It was like
That's
a moment of a
fine.
muffle,
Okay.
but you're good.
All right.
All
Well,
right. Well,
hopefully you
hopefully
guys
you
can
guys
still
can
at
still
least
at
hear
least
me.
hear me.
All right.
All right.
So Jason, we
Jason,
might
we
have to
might have
drop
to
you
drop you
out
out
Okay.
of
of
the
the
studio because
studio
I think
because
it's
I
when
think
we
it's when
brought
we brought
somebody on.
somebody on.
All right.
All
But
right.
thank you for
Thank you for
coming in
coming in
the
the
take them
take
off
them
because
off
there's
because
something about the way it's echoing. Go ahead and you could take them, remove them out. So what I learned is people are drawn to you when you lead yourself. So one of the biggest things is I'll use weight loss as an example. When you show the world that you can commit to becoming a better version of yourself and they clearly see it outwardly, guess what? People then realize or they say to themselves, they're willing to follow you. So if you cannot lead yourself, you cannot lead other people because how you do anything is how you do everything. So I want you all to remember that. The number one thing, if you want to become an effective leader, you must first lead yourself. And it's amazing because my business partner, she tells me all the time, when I got these high hopes for people, and she'll always say, give them 90 days. They're going to show you who they really are in 90 days. And she's always been right. Can you lead you? Because you can't lead other people until you lead you. So I show up the way I want other people to show up. I lead by example. I dress the way I expect for people to dress when I show up at an event. I make sure I look presentable for the camera because I want other people to look presentable for the camera. I go work out because I lead it by example of a healthy lifestyle so that others will desire to go work out. You must lead. I enroll business partners in my company because I want other people to enroll business partners in the company. I don't ask for anyone to do anything that I don't do myself. I get customers, I do retail, I teach, I train, but the first person that I teach and train is me. Because I can't give you, and I can always tell where people are by their conversation. If you talk more about other people than you do about a book or something you've seen or a podcast you watched or something like that, you keep showing me that you're not ready. Because at the end of the day, if that's your focus, see what happens is we tend to talk about people more often because it makes us feel good about where we lack. So we easily can pinpoint the faults and the flaws of other people because it makes us feel good about where we're not. When the reality of it is that they might have a big issue in a certain area. But if you are not where you desire to be, you got just as big of an issue in a different area. So Stop having so many conversations about other people and how they're showing up, and be more concerned about how you're showing up and why you're not having the level of success that you desire. Because there's obviously something missing. And although your limp may not be their limp, you got a limp. So leaders, or people rather, who aspire to be leaders, when you keep looking in that proverbial mirror and saying, okay, that part right there, I need to get that part together right there. I need to learn more compassion in that area. I need to I need to stop giving so much compassion. I need to stop allowing people. I need to stop I need to Okay, all right. I gave too much grace. All right, I gave them too much of a window. Oh, okay. So I'm watching. I'm being very, very cautious now as to how much exposure I give people. Because you can't give people too much power before they're ready for it. Because when you give people too much power before they're ready for it, then they'll move on when they get mad at you, right? And take your whole team with them. Because some of y'all keep looking at the smoke and mirrors. And you got to keep watching the tried, true, and tested results of someone who has had them over. You know why I rock with Sanisha? Because everywhere Sanisha goes, she's been to the top. You can't say that about a whole lot of other people. Oh, yeah, they've been to company. But have you been to the top? And if you haven't been to the top multiple times, there's no conversation for us to have. So this was a heavy chapter. And believe it or not, we still got a lot to go before we get up out of this chapter. Like a lot. A lot. All right. So get comfortable, because we're going to be here for a minute before we can get out of here and go to chapter 8. We got a ways to go. A ways. All right. Now, so listen, for those of you who keep asking, well, what page are we on? I'm here to tell you, and I'm not here to hurt your feelings, but I have no clue. I can't tell you that. And the reason why I can't tell you is because I am reading the large print book and you're reading out of the regular print book. The pages are different. So what that says to me, you keep telling on yourself, is that you're not, even if you're missing book club, you're not going back to the recorded version that's live on YouTube to catch up so that you keep track of where we left off in your book. All right. So I'm just saying a leader would have done that. So it's your job. It's your job to take your book. I'm not going to be able to tell you what page we're on because I told you from the beginning, I'm reading from the large print book. All right. So you can't ask me that question. I have no clue. I won't ever know. I know that we're in chapter, I think this is 6, or maybe we're in chapter 7, organized planning. And chapter 7 is a very long chapter before we get to chapter 8. All right. So I'm so glad we had this time together. Sandra Hayward says that we're on page 122 in the regular version or edition of Think and Grow Rich. Best thing about this book club is that you don't need the book, right? You can listen to the storyteller. And I mean, we had a whole lesson last night about storytelling, right? And I told you guys that I have a gift to get into the mind of the author and to bring this book alive for you. So I don't care what you're going through in life. You've got to remember that you can live again, laugh again, hope again, dream again, and you most certainly can bling again. I want you to have a bling-tastic rest of your evening, a bling-tastic week. Pay it forward, do a good deed, and be kind to one another. Make sure that you are subscribed to this channel, right? Bling TV 3765. So that you get all of the updates and the notifications when I am live, and you will never, ever miss a book club. And you want to make sure that you are also bringing people with you on Mondays. Invite someone else so that we can learn and grow together. Growing hurts. Growing pains. This book is whoop-diddy whoop, whoop, whoop. is all I can say, right? It is kicking our butt. So listen, part of growth and development is we're getting ready to go into 2024. And before we leave 2023, it is very important to me that we cast vision, that we set our intentions, and we set our goals, which is why our Dream Again vision experience, not some vision board party, but our vision experience is so dear to my heart. Every single year, it gets bigger and better. All right. This year, we have a full dinner, appetizers, dinner. There's a cash bar there planned for you, but with 3 amazing speakers. Now, what I love about this is we're tackling holistic goals. All right. Not just I want to buy a car, I want to buy a house, I want to buy a this, I want to buy a that, and not know how to get that done. So we've got Ms. Latoya Jackson, who is our wealth strategist, who is going to give you financial principles to help you to understand how to better govern your finances as we go into 2024. We've got the David Power Talk. Pain is power. Mr. David Solomon himself, who is going to help us with the mindset that we need to go into 2024. And then last, but certainly not least, right? If we could cast our own vision and we knew what to do, we would already have done it. But we've got the vision caster herself, Ms. Tanisha Graham, multiple 7-figure income earner, former basketball player, who's going to instruct us on the 12 pillars of vision. This is so major, you guys. You will have practical application as you write the vision, make it plain, but then you put it before you. And y'all, we've got magazines, but we've got something even better than that. Like, we really have the tools for you to have a very memorable experience. We've got DJ, Mr. Chris Courtenay. I don't know his DJ name. What is his DJ name, Paul? Do you remember? So music will be by Chris Courtenay himself. No, there's not feedback. That's Paige in the background repeating what I'm saying that you're hearing. All right, y'all. And so she's excited. But I'm excited to host this event for you. Paul and I have been doing our vision experiences now. This will be year number 4, I believe. And everything that I put on my vision boards have come to pass. So listen, tonight until midnight, please stop. There are just a few tickets left. I'm not stuck, but I'm having a mommy moment because there's a part of me that want to run up them steps because I done asked her to be quiet a couple times. So tonight until midnight, you have an opportunity to take advantage of Cyber Monday. Again, tonight until midnight. Don't call me in the morning and say, Nina, I missed it. We only have just a few tickets left. Run. Don't miss this event. All right? Because if you could have done this yourself, it would already be done. Find a way to get there. We have 3 convenient ways for you to be able to pay for this. Afterpay, Klarna, and or Affirm, where you don't even have to pay it all today. All right. When you go to checkout, you can choose one of those options. Get to Atlanta. All right, you guys, because you need to be in the room. It's going to be an amazing evening, you guys. Just listen to this, that we love you and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Good night. And did I tell you did I say where the link was? I did. Well, I didn't, but it's right there on the screen, right? Go to that link. Don't use www. Just go to moragroup.ticketlocity.com and pick the ticket that says Cyber Monday. It's just that simple. Good night and God bless you all.